I don't know what the punishment should be. I'm not a lawyer.
No, no,
but
that's okay. I'm just
yeah,
asking. It's totally.
Yeah.
Here's our position: is that it is against federal law to come into America, right?
Sure.
You're not allowed to come into the country without, without invite. So that's against the law. So if we can do one of two things, and there's very little in the middle. There's some nuance, but we can say we are not going to enforce the law because, we're just going to say that doesn't matter. Or we could say, look, the law is blind, and when you break the law, it must apply to all people. Now, I think you're a little different because I don't want you to loop in. So what country did you emigrate from?
Are you gonna like discriminate against me?
No, I'm actually not. I'm going to do the opposite, actually.
Yeah.
What I'm curious.
I'm Mexican.
Okay, fine. But you
Yeah.
came here legally, correct?
I did, sir.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Well, if I didn't, you'd be calling the police when you.
No, but it's not a racial thing.
Okay.
If you were Polish and you overstayed a visa, then you should be. But hold on, you followed the rules, so you're exempt. The people that you know didn't follow the rules.
True.
So I divide America not into Mexican and white and Hispanic and white, into rule follower and rule breaker.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back again with a new video. Today, we're going to check out Immigrants Defense Illegal Immigration. This is by Kirk. Kirk actually shuts it down. This is going to be amazing to watch. I call him Kick because he loves kicking us. Let's get right into today's video, guys.
Hi, Charlie. Great to meet you. Thank you for letting me speak in your platform. First of all, I really disagree with you in a lot of things.
Be respectful, guys. It's fine. Part of what makes America a great country.
It does. America's a great country, but I don't like your T-shirt. And I'm gonna get started by saying I'm an immigrant, and well, I don't understand why you would want to deport all some of my friends and family who have been working hard in this country, and that they're being persecuted right now. So I don't get the whole process of it, and it feels like I'm being discriminated against, even though I'm here through legal means. But just can you please give me an answer for that? And before that, if let's say if I would come up here and say I'm an illegal immigrant and I'm here trying to debate you, would you call ICE?
I mean, Tom Homan would probably see the video, and you'd probably go back to your true country.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how it works, right? But let me just ask you a question. What is the fair way a country, in your ideal, you're king. What's your name? Sorry.
I'm Claudio, sir.
Yeah, Claudio. And this is just a thought exercise, but it's very revealing. You are king, and you find out that there are 30 million uninvited people in your country. What do you do with them?
Oh, in this case, I try to find the most humane way of sending them back to our country. But first of all, I want to say
that's what we're doing.
Wait, let me just say something.
That's what we're doing.
Let me just say
King
something.
Claudio.
Yeah.
Long live the king.
Bro, I'm not a dictator at all. But
Of course, I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah, yeah.
It's a helpful thought
no,
exercise.
I get it. And all I'm saying is, you were talking about in the past couple of people that came up here, America first, trying to get the best for our country, and increasing the productivity and getting us to be the best country possible. Which I agree. I love this country, but a lot of this country is built on illegal immigrant labor, and it's definitely a bad means, but it's been a good result somehow. I'm sure you know people, you have friends from home that own businesses that employ these types of people that are very productive and very, very honest and just hardworking, trying to get a better life. And a lot of those people are very close to me, so it's just a very heartbreaking situation for me, but I understand.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, and you gave the answer if you were in charge. I guess this is another important question. What should the punishment be then if you break into somebody else's country uninvited and stay there without welcome?
Well, I don't know what the punishment should be. I'm not a lawyer.
No, that's okay. I'm just
yeah.
asking. It's totally.
Yeah.
Here's our position: is that it is against federal law to come into America, right?
True.
You're not allowed to come into the country without invite.
Due process, yeah.
So that's against the law. So if we can do one of two things, and there's very little in the middle. There's some nuance, but we can say we are not going to enforce the law because we're just going to say that doesn't matter. Or we could say, look, the law is blind, and when you break the law, it must apply to all people. Now, I think you're a little different because I don't want you to loop in. So what country did you emigrate from?
Are you gonna discriminate against me?
No, I'm actually not. I'm going to do the opposite, actually.
Yeah.
What I'm curious.
I'm Mexican.
Okay, fine. But you
Yeah.
came here legally, correct?
I did, sir.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Well, if I didn't, you'd be calling the police when you.
No, but it's not a racial thing. If you were Polish and you overstayed a visa, then you should be. But hold on, you followed the rules, so you're exempt. The people that you know didn't follow the rules.
True.
So I divide America not into Mexican and white and Hispanic and white, into rule follower and rule breaker.
Yeah.
And so when someone breaks our rules, there must be justice done. There must be a punishment. And the most humane way is you go back to your country of origin. We'll do it humanely, we'll do it correctly, but if you are not invited into a home, into a dorm room, into a living room, the standard applies to an entire country. Now, to your point, you might be right. There might be some economic disruption. However, you know what happens if you have economic disruption in the labor pool? Wages are going to go up. And you guys are going to see your wages
Yeah,
go
but
up.
who is going to occupy those jobs?
So this is a little bit insulting. I don't think you mean it this way. That illegal immigrants are nothing more than just kind of like
No. These
I-
are my people, so how could I
said-
be insulting them?
I'm even defending. I don't think
Yeah.
you mean it this way.
Yeah.
But broadly, when we talk about immigration, there's a talking about like, well, who's going to pick your grapefruits and like, who's going to serve you Chipotle? You've probably heard this before,
Yeah,
right?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Who's going to clean your hotel room?
It's us, yeah.
But hold on, embedded in that is kind of a really derogatory. That's like they're kind of just like a permanent serf class here to serve us. I think that's like really creepy and weird. Actually, these are human beings. They're more than just kind of economic utility.
Yeah, no, but like in the history of the U.S., like first had like the Italian and Polish immigrants, and they first served those jobs, and then they became like economically sufficient,
but
and
they were welcomed.
true,
And they
but
were,
it was a different time in history, like
of course. But
Yeah.
I suppose the broader question is one of justice, which is that to what should a country do when your sovereignty has been so massively violated for a long period of time? And a country seeks to be a country, becomes something else. It becomes a colony, or it becomes just kind of a random area if a country does not have loyalty to its own people. And if it has loyalty to foreigners or to an oligarchy, it ceases to be a country. So it's not the most popular argument. Well, actually, the American people voted for it, and it sounds cruel, but it's very simple. It's like, look, this is not against any of you personally, but you have to have the law be the first and last ushering of what a government does in this situation. And by the way, what I was saying about you, I'm getting back to you. You deserve to be applauded because you guys followed the rules. And it's not fair to people like you who followed the rules to all of a sudden have line cutters. Here's the equivalent. You guys waited in line like two and a half hours to go get a meal at a restaurant, and someone shows up and just cuts in line. What was the first thing you would say? That's not fair. And you would be right. And the same with immigration, please.
yeah. Wait, let me just like add a layer to this, and then I'm probably done. But like, let's say that the people that's cutting like in front of line, like that's like some of my boys like that I know that they're being like persecuted like back home, them and their families, like they're like in like drug related like wars and violence, and the only way out, like the only way they're not gonna die or like suffer a very bad fate is if they escape and they break the American law. But that's the only way they're gonna survive. So like,
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Two thoughts on this. Number one, if that is correct, we have a special asylum status that they could seek legally at a port of entry, that they could go through a whole
yeah.
process.
But if they're being persecuted, don't they not deserve? But it wouldn't be justified to cut the line.
No.
Okay.
Secondly, well, it might be justified in their mind, but it's not justified in the rule administrator's mind to make
Yeah.
exception for it. But let me make a more important point, though. If we all of a sudden say that if you have a lot of gang violence and issues, I mean, like we have a lot of gang violence and issues. Like, what are we talking about here?
True.
Like, we're a more dangerous country than half of the Central American countries. We're far more dangerous than El Salvador. And we could make an example. If that is the criteria, like all of South America should be allowed into America. Basically, I mean, the idea is that at some point you have almost no standard whatsoever, and instead, here's my perspective. We should empower those people to go fix their own country. We should empower them to go make El Salvador great again, which is a great country now.
Okay.
Nicaragua, Honduras. Yes, please, final
So
thought.
wouldn't like a good way to start is like trying to lower the demand for drugs in America, because a lot of the drugs that are like being produced and being fought over in South America are going to be supplied to the U.S. for American consumers.
Yeah, so how would you recommend lowering demand?
I have no idea. Like, what would you do? Or like,
I don't know. I mean, demand and supply are two different issues, right?
True.
I mean, the first part of demand is that way too many people get into, and I talked to my earlier point, they get into a thought pattern that substances are going to bring me flourishing, which I think is wrong. But yes, I think, the drug cartels are richer than ever before, and we have more drugs legalized than any time in the last 40 years. So something doesn't fit. So obviously drug legalization is not impoverishing them. The biggest way, though, that we stop these third world countries from being tin pot despotic dictatorships is we have to stop subsidizing their oligarchy through foreign aid. And then, yes, you're right. The Chinese Communist Party is pumping tons of money into these countries. But finally, and I know this sounds a little bit cruel, is that I care far more about the suffering of Americans than the suffering of other people's countries first.
I would too, yeah.
And you have to.
Yeah.
You have to look after your own people.
True.
You have to draw the line. And it's the old adage, right, guys? If your plane is going down, what do they tell you to do first? You put your mask on first, and then the mask on the person that might not be able to put a mask on, an infant or someone that might be infirmed. It's the same way as a country. We need to put our own oxygen mask on first, and then we can worry about helping other people. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Can I get a hat?
Okay, I love the entire dialogue. It's very, very interesting and beautiful to listen to. I love how the guy was very honest. This is something about honesty, coming from the heart. You have to be honest with yourself before you can be honest with others. So the guy was very honest. He was very sincere in his answers, and I actually respect that. But the truth of the matter is that you don't cut in line because you share border. You don't cut in line because there's a way for you to come to another man's country. You are not invited, then you have to pass through due process. Anyone who cuts in line, the people who have been waiting for a long time, like 6, 10 years, they get cheated on. It's like you are cheating others who have been waiting for years. It's very, very bad. And at the same time, you are breaking the rule. You are breaking the country's regulation just because of your own selfish desire. I call it that selfish desire, irrespective of how good you are, how kind, how loving, how tolerant, how good in handwork you are doing. What matters is your decision, what you did right there was terrible because number one, you've broken the rule. Number two, you've cheated others who have been waiting in line for years. It's very, very bad. So your idea, the reason of you coming, either is good or bad to you, is none of anyone's business. You breaking the rule itself says a lot about your personality. This video was actually interesting to watch. I love how sincere the student was. I love how respectfully the dialogue went. Charlie was very, very happy while debating with this guy. It was a very meaningful conversation. I actually respect this debate a lot because I love how sincere both of them were. There was no insult or F word flying around. It was very honest and very matured. Comment down below what you think about this video. Give us a thumbs up. Share this video to as many as you can. Subscribe to our channel, guys. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you stay safe.